So my wife and I are getting ready to build a home. We've got all of our plans drawn up. We've got we're just trying to get bids from all the contractors and all that stuff that goes into building a home. And probably the biggest pain in the neck is trying to get your pricing dialed in, to get all the timelines dialed in, to get people show up at the right times and who's too busy at what times of year. It is not an easy task to build a home. Our next guest is trying to literally revolutionize the way homes are being built by modularly building these things in foldable houses. I mean, foldable houses. Literally, they are street legal to transport. They are absolutely amazing. He is taking the biggest challenge for almost all of us. Almost everybody in the world lives in a home. Taking that and simplifying the construction process to a point that it will just blow your mind. The company is Boxable. And if you haven't taken a look at them, check it out. While you listen to this interview, I want you to pay attention to some of the unique challenges that he's had to face and what he still has to face, but also listen to the amazing success he's had in taking it from a concept just 5 years ago and turning it into something that's, they've raised over $150 million and have buy-in from one of the largest home construction companies in the world. And so this is an amazing, amazing company with an amazing vision. You're going to love this interview. And I hope that you grab onto some of the good snippets that he's given us about how he's taken his company from concept to where it's at today, to where they're producing homes in less than 4 hours, start to finish. Absolutely nuts. So I hope you enjoy this interview as much as I enjoyed giving it. It was absolutely phenomenal, and the inspiration to grow and scale is just all over the place in this interview. So we'll see you after the interview. Welcome to the What It Takes to Scale podcast. I'm your host, Todd Westra, and this is the place where we take CEOs and founders and we dive into their business and discover what key decisions they had to make in order to grow and scale their business. Hey, welcome to the podcast today. We have got a special guest today. His name is Galiano, and Galiano is one of those guys who has gone out of the box to create something unique and amazing, literally outside, well, kind of inside the box, I guess is where you've gone. But will you please just give everyone a quick intro? Who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on your show. My company is called Boxable. We're located in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we have a factory that mass produces houses. We have a whole bunch of technology that makes our company very different from any other traditional house or factory built house you might have seen. The idea is that we're trying to mass produce housing at a cost that is a price that is lower than anyone else on the planet, and we're trying to do it really fast. Like we're talking the same speed that they produce automobiles. So, most car factories are putting out 1 car per minute. We want to build 1 house per minute at our company.
That's crazy. How fast can you do it right now? What's your speed time? What's your production line looking like?
Yeah, so we just got started in 2017. Basically, with just an idea, and then about 14 months ago, we turned on production in our first factory. So that's a 170,000 foot building, and we can produce roughly, I'd say, 1 house every 4 hours right now. And
okay,
we're still,
that's nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
No, I mean seriously, this is absolutely nuts. When I saw you pop up on my calendar and on the schedule, and I saw it was the Boxable.com, I've heard of this thing. This is something that a lot of people are kind of catching wind about. How did you get this to get so viral? And I guess tell us about what's been the funnest part about growing and scaling this company.
Well, the whole thing has been kind of a dream and totally insane, nonstop action, drama, excitement, the whole way. And it's not slowing down at all. It's just kind of snowballing. So,
love it.
Back when I started, at first really couldn't get anyone to care about Boxable or be interested, and was trying to figure out what to do, and was chasing down traditional news press to get coverage and didn't really see great results. And then one day I decided, hey, I'm going to email some YouTubers about doing a video. And we got one girl to sign us up, and we did that first YouTube video, and all of a sudden I saw like a lot of results. I saw emails rolling in, web traffic was up, inquiries, and then I'm like, all right, this works. Let me run with this and double down on it. And then I just went nuts trying to basically get any, social media influencer, anyone with an audience that was relevant to building, construction, housing stuff to repost us or do a video with us. And, it worked big time. And, that marketing has driven everything else in the company, whether it was the customer wait list, the investors, employees finding out about us, suppliers finding out about us. It's been like an engine driving everything. And the results are pretty crazy because, in no time we're up with this massive factory, shipping houses every day. We've raised $160 million from over 40,000 investors. We have a wait list that has over 160,000 names on it, like for customer wait list, the people that want to buy the product. We just got into our second factory building last week. We just did like a ribbon cutting ceremony on that, and we're still looking forwards towards an even bigger factory. So what we're trying to do here is solve a really big problem in a really big way. It's a really big opportunity. This is a multi-trillion-dollar market around the world, and people are now paying attention to what we're doing, and they're interested, and a lot of people are signing up the vision and saying these guys might be on the right track.
Might be. I mean, let's face it. Yeah, I've been in and out of Vegas most of my adult life, like a lot. I actually used to do some construction down there. I was a subcontractor doing audio video work, and one of my biggest clients was a huge tract home builder. And a lot of people don't realize that outside of the Strip in Las Vegas, Vegas is a massive, massive construction hub of tract homes. Yeah. I mean, almost every neighborhood is a tract. You know what I mean? And for you to develop a 4-hour process of producing a home that could fit in these developments, I mean, this is massive. I mean, it's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. And if you look at building construction, it's really one of the last remaining kind of pre-industrial, marketplaces where you have things actually being built by craftsmen one at a time. You wouldn't see that with any other product, whether it's the hat I'm wearing or a television or an automobile. It's all done on assembly line, and that's because assembly line works. It produces low cost, the lowest cost, rapid production, all that good stuff. But that just simply has not translated to housing. 90% of buildings are built on site. It's slow and cumbersome and expensive. So we've kind of solved the various problems that stopped buildings from moving into the factory. The big one, of course, is the shipping. Our room modules, our factory built room modules, they fold up so they can ship highway legal as a load that can actually fit on the highway instead of incurring too many extra.
The wide load fees.
Exactly. Yeah. Those fees are what's kind of stopped building construction from transitioning into the factory. And then beyond that, we have a whole bunch of other technology, whether it's the equipment we're using or the building materials we're using to build. Almost everything is different. We're kind of solving a whole bunch of friction points throughout the process. So hopefully one day
is nuts.
Yeah. Well, hopefully one day we'll be selling these to these big national home builders, the tract home guys. Actually, we have the biggest one as an investor in our company. It's D.R. Horton. Companies like,
I saw that.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. So companies like that, they basically they subcontract everything out to local builders. So they have this huge, kind of nightmare to deal with so many different players, so many different suppliers, an electrician, a plumber, weather delays, 4, 5, 6 month build cycle for a residential house. And we're saying to them, all right, forget all of that. Skip right to the part.
Where's the pad?
Yeah, where the pad's ready and the house is done. And it literally gets set up in a day. And then you come over and you maybe do some customizations to it and you're done. And then if that's if that's how they can start doing things, that's going to totally change their business model.
Dude, that is seriously one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Now, as I've seen you kind of grow through, because I think I have seen you on social media. That's probably where I've seen it, is on like a YouTube type things, because I still follow some of the old audio video stuff that I used to be involved in, and seeing you on some of these construction related stuff. But you talked about kind of the funnest thing, some of the fun parts about the growth and scaling. What's been one of the biggest challenges you've hit in trying to grow and scale this business? I mean, this is a rapid growth, 150 million raised in 5 years.
Yeah, definitely has been a whole lot of roadblocks along the way. And I guess that's a good thing, because it's the reason why no one else has solved this problem. Right? There certainly has been a lot of people saying, you can't do this. It's not going to work. It doesn't make sense. That's not possible. And every once in a while I stop and I look back and I'm like, well, now we're here, and it just kind of keeps going up like that. It's really, really exciting. Everything from, can we get the money we need to do this, to the actual engineering of the product, creating a product that is better, that is faster to produce, that is lower cost, that does have higher ratings, to the regulatory approvals we need from a legal standpoint. There is a whole lot of things going on here that make this very difficult.
There are so many balls in the air, aren't there? I mean, you've got patents you're trying to protect. You've got you've got all sorts of legal stuff you're trying to deal with. Inspectors and counties and cities and everybody trying to say, does that work?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah. And a lot of these guys, they're not able to see this from our perspective. They're looking at it from the traditional methods of building, which is where you have guys that go out to site and they do it one job at a time. They have city inspectors come out, and we're just on a whole other playing field here. So it's going to be
crazy.
A battle,
I mean, you're going to have to get lobbyists really to pass new building code in each of these areas, I'm guessing. Maybe not. Maybe you're able to do it the way you're doing it.
There's a place for us to fit in now at this level of scale. Luckily, there's so much demand in the market for building construction that we can kind of pick and choose where we go first. But once we do get to a certain size, we'll definitely have to have some lobbying efforts to change some rules once it gets really big.
I love it, man. I absolutely love what you're doing. This is so fascinating. So as you have been able to productize this and systematize it, and literally you're the Henry Ford of building is what I look at it as. You're taking this lifelong customization project of building a home and putting it into this production cycle that you put it into. What advice do you give other people that, they're trying to grow and scale a new idea, a new concept? They hit the same kind of roadblocks you've hit. What advice do you give these guys that are hitting those roadblocks?
You're just going to have really, grueling persistence. And, a lot of things are not going to go right, and it's going to kind of suck. But eventually, you'll hit, and it'll pay off big time. So you just have to, keep going, and it's not for everyone, but it's definitely.
It's definitely not.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and speaking of that, I mean, you are one of the rarities who's made business work with your dad. Now, I know both of you have background in doing other businesses and other ventures, things like that. But what, who do you look at whenever you'd hit one of these roadblocks and one of these big challenges, and you felt like this is just not even worth the time anymore? Was there anyone in your network that you looked at that you're just like, oh my gosh, if that guy can do it, I know I can pull this off? And maybe they gave you some pep talk, or I don't know. It sounds like you've got 40,000 investors. So somebody in there is obviously someone who's been an influence on you. Who was it?
Well, you said it. It's definitely, my dad. We started this business together back in 2017, make a great team, have really complementary skill sets. He's more on the design and engineering side. I'm more on the business marketing side, but it's really good to have someone, on my team that I can, trust and look up to, and, makes it a lot more, fun to work through all these various problems.
Love it. Dude, that is so awesome. That honestly, just super inspirational. Now, as you look out and the landscape and you see other people trying to innovate, obviously, I immediately think of like an Elon Musk trying to revolutionize the way that cars are produced again, and the way that they run. And you're trying to revolutionize this whole home construction animal. As you look out, everyone's kind of wondering, how did you get into this? Like 2017, you just came up with this idea and hit it, or what did you do right before this? What was the last thing you were doing when you thought, shoot, I'm going for it?
Yeah, so the original idea actually came, many, many years ago when, my father, Paolo, built a home using traditional modular construction. He wasn't a home builder,
okay.
And he looked at, how am I going to do this? And the first thing he realized was, all right, if I do it the traditional way, all these guys are going to rip me off because I have no idea what I'm doing. If I go out to all the subcontractors, the framer, the electrician, the
right.
plumber, it's going to be very difficult. So then he said, let me go to modular construction. At least that way I'll know all my costs for the actual building are fixed, and I can understand what those are. So he went that route, and then when he got the room module shipped in, there was an enormous amount of friction with the shipping. It was incredibly expensive. It was difficult to get all the permits. And he just said, there's got to be a different way to do this. Back then, his business was intellectual property licensing and invention.
Gotcha.
And, so he drew up the first idea to fold the house. And then, in 2017, we just kind of started talking about it again and said, let's give it a shot to take this business and bring it up and operate it ourselves. And so then we just made kind of a few, we made a website, a few 3D renders of what it might look like, and tried to get interest and resources.
Love
and
it.
Things went from there.
Well, listen, I love what you're doing. I love what you're up to. I found a ton of information about you on YouTube. I just Googled Boxable, Boxabl, and you find it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on there. There's a lot of good content. Where's a good place for people to find more information about your product and what you're up to?
Yeah, you're right. We're all over social media. We've kind of posted everything we've done along the way. The company is very transparent. Our factory's open for people to come visit. You can go on YouTube and see our various updates about our progress. The website is a great resource, and we're everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, kind of with nonstop updates about where we're working on. So I'd encourage anyone to go and check that out. Follow along, subscribe to us.
Love it. Galiano, you are an amazing man. Awesome growth and scaling, and I can't wait to see where you guys end up. And this is going to be an exciting thing, and I can't wait to come through the factory. I'm definitely coming down in the next month or so, and we're going to check it out. So thank you so much for taking the time to be on today, and we are just pleased. Any last bit of advice for those struggling out there?
Just never give up on it. Just keep hammering away, and it'll pay off big time. And thank you for having me on your show, and definitely welcome a factory visit if you're ever in Las Vegas.
Awesome. Will do. Thanks so much. All right. How was that? I mean, seriously, how was that? I'm inspired. I think all of us have had some crazy wonky idea before that we thought there's no way we can ever get that thing to happen. And he's making it happen. He and his dad are just absolutely killing it in taking this concept, plugging it into the right resources, putting it in the right places, raising the right kind of capital, and turning this into something that is going to revolutionize home construction. Now, you may not have a home construction business or any idea what you want to do with the concept that you're hitting, but let's think about this. There are so many workers. There's got to be, I don't know the percentage, but there's a huge percentage of small businesses in America are related to home construction. There's so many artisans, so many people that do custom work and custom things like that this is going to not displace them, but probably rearrange them into a more specialized delivery of what they do. But this model should be an inspiration for all of you trying to to go up against the big boys and trying to disrupt an industry that may need some disrupting. So if you're one of those people who has a concept, who has an idea that's starting to work, and you're wondering how to grow and scale it, don't hesitate to listen and re-listen to this episode. Get that inspiration that you need to go out there and grow and scale. Thanks so much.